Hey there, welcome. Thanks for joining me. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. I just wanted to come on here and show you a beautiful and easy, simple flower bouquet that you can use for all those weddings that are coming up or quinceaneras. Even as a centerpiece, you could use this. So what you're going to need first are 5 to 6 bunches or stems of flowers, whichever flower you choose to use. Then 2 smaller size flowers, which in my case I'm going to use these flowers that look like baby's breath to me, and all the roses and flowers that I purchased at Dollar Tree. And what I'm doing is basically individually cutting each one of the flowers from the stem itself. And I did the same thing to the roses. And now I'm going to get some of greenery, and again from Dollar Tree, and just kind of cutting the stems as long as I possibly can. Just try to leave all your stems as long as you can, and then you can worry about cutting them shorter later on once you're completely done with your bouquet, simply because you don't know how long you want it until you have them all gathered together. So I always say leave them long and then cut them at the end. That way you won't, because you can't glue it back on. So just go ahead and leave the stems as long as you can. That way you are safer than sorry. And what I try to do is, depending on the main flower that I'm going to use, I try to grab maybe 5 to 6 to make like a small bouquet of them, and then I work around it. So that would be my center of my bouquet. And like I said, I typically try to use my main flower for that area. And then I grab my smaller flower, in my case the baby's breath, and I'm just going to go ahead and add 3 to 4 all around my smaller bouquet. And then I just work with them, and I'm going to be playing with this until I'm completely done. So just go ahead and add some greenery in between your smaller flowers like this, and then you can do it like that, or like I'm going to add one right in the center. And this is a great way to customize your bouquet depending on whatever style of wedding or quinceanera that you're planning on having. So just go ahead and continue doing that. Once you've added a little bit of greenery and some of your baby's breath, then just keep rotating your bouquet in your hand and adding flowers every so often. Maybe on the next row you could add 4 or 5, and then add a little bit more greenery and then some more baby's breath, and just continue that process until you're completely done. Like I said, I think this would be great as a bouquet for a wedding, or the bride-to-be, even for a quinceañera, or you can even put this in a vase and have it as your centerpiece. The one bouquet that I'm making right now, it costs roughly about $10 to make. You can add more or a little bit less, and it would still be as beautiful as this one, just depending on your budget. But I think $10 for a flower bouquet is quite budget friendly. But just go ahead and add as many flowers as you like, and you can add any color you like. I'm kind of trying to keep it more of a neutral style, but you can add any color depending on whatever decor or style you want to use for your wedding or your bouquet or your quinceañera. This bouquet is pretty easy to make. As you can see, it's one of those kind of DIYs that I say that if you're not a typical DIYer, but you do want to have a wedding or any event on a budget, this is one I would highly recommend you give it a try, and see if you can do it yourself, because it isn't very hard to do. Basically it's going to be to your taste, because all you're doing is kind of gathering and bunching your flowers together. It just, the way you're arranging them is what the style is going to end up looking like. So this is very, very customized to whatever bride or quinceañera lady or girl that you're going to give this to or make it for. So just continue adding baby's breath and then flowers, and I try to kind of make them in rows, even if it doesn't look like I am. I rotate it and then add, you know, okay, I added 4 or 5 flowers. Let me go ahead and add a little bit of greenery, and then I'll add some more baby's breath and continue that same process until I'm completely done. So as you can see, all the stems in the bottom aren't even yet, but you know, you do need them there until you are completely done. That way you can cut them off. And then once you're done adding all your flowers and you're happy with your bouquet, go ahead and grab a zip tie, tighten it together, and that way you can hold your stems all together and they aren't going to move anywhere once you've placed them the way you want them. The first one zip tie that I added on there, I put 2 together thinking I was going to need that larger zip tie, but I didn't. So I'm grabbing the smaller zip ties that come in a bag from Dollar Tree. Usually there's like 3 different sizes in that bag, and this is the actual smallest one. They're normally white or black. So I'm adding 2 of the zip ties to my handle part of my bouquet and tightening them with some pliers, or, you know, if you have stronger hands, go ahead and do it with your hands as much as you can, and then go ahead and cut the extra parts of your zip tie, and then grab the ribbons that you want to use. I'm using this ribbon from Dollar Tree, that's the burlap with the lace and then some white ribbon. But before I add that ribbon around my handle for my bouquet, here is where you start cutting and trimming all your stems to try to make them as even as possible and all be the same size. And like I said, I only added 2 zip ties, but you can add a 3rd and a 4th down at the bottom if you like. So once you cut all your stems, go ahead and grab the biggest ribbon that you're going to use, and all I did was add a little bit of hot glue and add it to the top of my stems, or right underneath the flowers. Held it there to make sure it stayed in place, and then I'm just going to wrap it around my stem. Now here's another idea. If you don't want it all the way completely down and you want more of that natural greenery to look like your stems to be at the bottom like that, just go ahead and wrap it around once, your ribbon around once around the stem. Or the way I'm doing it is I'm basically wrapping it around the entire greenery part of my rose bouquet. Once you've wrapped it around, go ahead and kind of hold it and push it tightly to make sure that it stays nice and secure in place. Add some hot glue, and then just hold it and wrap it around. Now what I did was add a little bit of glue at the bottom, and then I squeezed it together. That way my stems, where I cut them, they won't pull on your dress or anything once you have it, you know, you're holding or walking down the aisle. Then you go ahead and grab a smaller ribbon. In my case, I'm using the white one, and I'm going to make a double bow. A great idea, you can add some bling on right here, some sequins, or, you know, maybe a beautiful brooch or a memory picture. You can add whatever you like to this area right here on your bouquet. Just go ahead and tie a large knot on your bow and leave those ribbons a little bit longer, that way they can dangle down. And if you don't feel comfortable just using hot glue, feel free to add some E6000, or even add maybe a pin right here to make sure it stays nice and secure. All I did was add some hot glue onto my bow, adjusted my tails, made sure it was where I was liked it, and then I went ahead and trimmed the ends of my tails, and I just did a simple angle cut. And there you have a beautiful bouquet for any event. I hope you enjoyed, and this was a great idea for you to use in your next event. You guys stay safe, and don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and share with friends and family if you enjoyed this tutorial. Until next time, bye.